Here's why your sleep might suck as a fit person and how to actually go about fixing that. I often get anywhere between 3 to 5 hours of sleep each and every night, sometimes for days on end. Sometimes I'll struggle to fall asleep, and then sometimes I'll knock out just fine and I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and can't go back to sleep. Now, it's one thing if that happened and I was out partying, doing this and that. I do all the right things, all the stuff that you're supposed to do: cool room, wind down at night, only sipping water 1 hour before bed, food 2 hours before bed, white noise, blackout curtains, the whole deal. And I want to make a very strong point. Just because you are a productive or fit person doesn't necessarily always make you super healthy. And I'm going to give you an example. I have YouTube Premium. On YouTube Premium, you get no ads on anything, so there's no pattern interrupt. So I can listen to as many videos as I want without having one advertisement on there. Pretty cool. Not to mention, I can go in 2 times speed all the way up to 4 times speed on those videos. And I'm typically listening at 2 times speed or faster. Not necessarily ideal, right? So I'm listening to these super fast videos constantly. My brain is constantly getting dopamine hits nonstop throughout the entire day because I listen to these the entire day. I have the ability to work from home. I have the ability to be more flexible with my schedule. So I can pop some earbuds in and listen to a few YouTube videos while I am working. And the reason I do this is because I feel a constant sense of dopamine hit when I do this. For me personally, I get dopamine hits for when I feel like I'm learning or just any form of progression where I feel like, hey, I'm actually getting better as a person, as a trainer, as a whatever. If I feel like I'm getting better, that is progression to me. That's how I feel good. That's how I get my feel good chemicals going. For you, it might be something a little bit different. With all these sleep challenges going on for years on end now, and it was really bad the past couple of months, my girlfriend and I, we just started Googling, hey, why can't I sleep at night? Why does my brain race at night? And it came down to a few things that we feel like actually match what was going on just based off the symptoms alone. So combination of some sort of stress slash anxiety, overstimulation, and then the hormonal response to each of those things. Essentially, basically a spike in cortisol, which is just a stress hormone. Now, sleep disorders actually run in my family. My father has sleep apnea and restless leg syndrome. Basically just completely screws up his whole entire night of sleep for his entire life, basically. For the past 6 decades, he's barely been able to sleep. So that is something that me and the rest of my family, none of us have technically been diagnosed with anything. Half of us probably have some form of insomnia, despite all of our good habits, but none of us have been diagnosed with anything. So my theory is that the reason I personally don't get the best sleep as a healthy, fit person is because I'm constantly overstimulated. In the day and age where we have smartphones, we have unlimited access to darn near any information, any fun, any entertainment, whatever we want to do, basically, all from that little box. Pretty cool, right? But also, it can work against you in a way. I believe this extreme amount of overstimulation throughout the day and even late at night has led to me thinking I'm being productive, but the overstimulation, even when productive, doesn't necessarily equal health, if that makes sense. Although I thought it did. Here's exactly how I'm going to go about trying to fix this. And I'm not a person that typically takes any sort of medicine. I rarely will take any sort of pills, medicine, things like that. The few things I'm going to do, I'm going to slow down the videos, the quantity and the quality of the videos. So I'm not going to be watching at 2 times speed. I'm not going to be watching 10 of them right before I fall asleep. Maybe I'll start watching a few of them, start to wind down, something a little bit more entertainment based, just to slow the brain down, make me not think I'm constantly, I need to learn every single hour of the day. And then on top of this will actually help play into the wind down routine. I thought a wind down routine meant doing all the right things and then listening to a bunch of these videos, get as much information and knock out. Yeah, not really. So combination of less water, less food, all that good stuff, darker room, white noise, start to ease into it, kind of get a routine going. Like, hey, I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And that kind of starts getting your body circadian rhythm set for you to actually knock out for the night. So combination of reading books, taking things light, stop working past maybe 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That's not all helping. So essentially, my goal is to not just wind down the body, but also wind down the brain. I don't know if any of you guys out there actually deal with anything like that, like your brain just races constantly, but I'm going to start trying these things out, and have been trying some of these things out already. It seems to be working pretty effectively so far, but I want to continue to do these. I want to be consistent with it. And then essentially the biggest thing is being consistent for at least 30 days, at least a month, doing the right things, and then adding these small habits on top of it to see if there's any improvement at all. Now, theoretically, let's say I do go to a doctor and get this thing checked out, say, hey, what the heck is wrong with me? Can you actually give me something to work with and not just give me a pill to be on the rest of my life? If I theoretically were to get diagnosed with something, I am not going to let that dictate my whole entire persona or mentality, if that makes sense. If it's like you have insomnia or you have restless leg or whatever it is, I'm not going to act any different just because I am diagnosed with the name of something, if that makes sense. Now, that might give me authority on a certain topic, and I can say, hey, as a person with insomnia, this is what I do. Now, that gives me authority. That's a little bit different. As a fitness coach, that's the thing I do anyways. Hey, I've been training people for 7 years. I have a degree in kinesiology. All those little things give me authority on a subject. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be my whole personality. And I would definitely not want to play victim to that circumstance. Does that make sense? The plan would be to still act healthy and not use any sort of diagnosis as a crutch or as my personality, because your brain is way more powerful than you think. And if you can control your brain, sometimes you can even control your health to some extent. I know that sounds a little woo-woo and a little crazy, but your mentality can determine a lot in very, very different ways. What you visualize in your head, what you do, it can really determine the outcome of quite a few different things regarding your health, your future, your career, how much money you're making, all that good stuff. It all actually does play a big role. As a fit person, as a workaholic, as an ultra productive person, you might be experiencing the same sleep challenges I have. I haven't talked to a whole lot of people that have, but if you're one of them and you're out there, this might be for you. And this is exactly how I'm going about trying to fix this and overcome this. And I'd be super curious to hear if anyone else has tried or has any other ideas in the comments down below. That being said, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, congratulations. You actually do not have a TikTok brain, and it is super satisfying to see there are still people out there like yourself. Do me a favor, if you found this video valuable at all, or if this resonated with you in any way, please do me a favor, drop a like on the video down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.